Hello, this is my third fucking take on this video because I do not seem to be satisfied with the end result. No matter what I do, the perfectionism is actually kicking in full swing. I've noticed that I do to take a deep breath in after I speak for a long sentence, and that's been really annoying me. So you're going to have a lot of instead. Oh my god, I'll try to do that again. Regardless, look, I was going to talk about today on capitalism, short form content, and the illusion of choice in the modern video format and doom scrolling systems. I don't want to breathe through my mouth. Holy fuck, that actually annoyed me so much because I was rewatching it and I sound like a mouth breather. I swear I have perfect chin, perfect jawline. I do not breathe through my mouth. It's just really difficult to talk in a long sentence without actively breathing. Because like I think I'm like genuinely dysfunctional and I cannot really speak and breathe at the same time. But although I'm sure I'm just retarded and everybody else can do this. I made a post last night while I was trying to sleep and I had a bunch of ideas running through my head and I could not sleep. So I'm just going to be reading these out because I am fairly certain that YouTube is going to delete it. This is not going to be an energetic video because I'm just going to be reading out my thoughts that I've already laid out. One thing I have noticed though is the major difference between the way I at least type something out and I way I like to verbally say things because verbally when I speak I'm very jumpy. I like to be very varying with my emphasis. I'm just gonna go high emphasis on some words and very low and have verbal gestures, which is very interesting to me. Like right there, I have a little confusing voice even right now, I have very fun as a way to I'll describe it of verbal speaking, but in my sort of writing, it's more dry and monotone. You're gonna like be reading some really boring 18th century literature type of boring. And I really wonder why that is. Because is it because am I sitting down and really thinking about things? And slowly going back and correcting, which is something I don't get a chance to do when I'm continuously speaking. So I have to improvise and constantly make emphases and verbal gestures in order to take away from the fact that there is a lack of actual meaning being provided. I think so. So I think going forward, I will probably do my more deep or like actual thought thinking content, thought provoking content through my community posts because God knows that whenever I try to do something through my regular video format, it just fucking miserably fails because I don't know how to lay my thoughts out correctly and I'm terrible at documenting it that way. But I'm still going to make an effort today just to read out what I have already written because I had been given the suggestion, hey, you should make scripts and follow scripts, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea because otherwise it just looked like I have ADHD or some sort of attention disorder and I jump between topics to topics, which doesn't really make any sense. But now that I think about it, when I write a script, it I also jump between topics and topics because I started from short form content and I ended with why capitalism isn't what it is. No, what did I end with? I ended with fucking Nietzsche and philosophy and creation of value. Good job. Good job. That's basically what I'm really good at. Doing fucking converting everything back to Nietzsche and philosophy. Wow. Take a guess where my username comes from. Anyways, continuing on with my video though. Look, I have found the beautiful moon. Actually, I don't like this video. Fuck this video. I have put in incredible nature background footage into my YouTube search to dramatically increase my video quality production. Oh shit, my YouTube feed has been leaked. Quick, get it away! Can't let people know the kind of weirdo I am. It's gonna be terrible for me actually. Look at this. Earth 4K. I don't think that's 4K, man. I don't know. I can count the pixels. Not sure. maybe it's maybe it is working. Maybe it's just my eyesight. I'm gonna have this full screened. Not really, because I'm gonna be reading off of the script. Hey, can this video load already? Thanks. Look, there's a train. I sometimes think I was thinking, not thinking, I was reading about South African literature today, and I found out that South Africa is really fucking rich and really fucking poor at the same time. Like half the country is incredibly rich because white people, and the other half is like incredibly fucking poor because black people. No, there's absolutely no other reasoning behind it. Surely, listen to me and my racism. I'm not lying to you. It's not because of the colonialist wealth inequality that was created, which was followed by insane corruption of the current South African government, which has only done to increase wealth inequality through their corrupt processes and hard monopolization of industries such as industry, the industrial sector, transport, education, healthcare, blah blah blah, and actively killing out any competition and giving government the sole control over everything. Which, yeah, hey, guess what happens when you give a monopoly the power to do everything? They stagnate the economy, which is what happened. Anyways, why am I talking about South African literature? Let's talk about short form content. The primary reason why I always believe that short form content is popular because it takes away people's ability to watch what sort of content they want to watch. Because as in YouTube, you can go to your feed, you can be like, that video is dog shit, that video is dog shit, I'm gonna watch this video. You don't have that choice. But you would think that this is kind of like an active deterrent for people, like not being given the ability to choice. But the average minded person is so fucking retarded. And yes, I'm going to pretend to be above average yet again, while full well knowing I'm right in the median IQ threshold. They're so fucking retarded that you can still maintain the choice of illusion through the scrolling aspect, which, funnily enough, is being used less and less as algorithms get more and more optimized to get rid of the one sort of choice you have through scrolling. So once that illusion of choice is also taken away, you're just doing force-fed videos that are going to maximize the profits while minimizing the amount of time you spend away from the content. Maximizing profits, you're gonna think, oh, capitalism. This is the fault of capitalism. I will go into that and I will try to deconstruct it and why it's not the capitalism's fault that people are retarded. Anyways, that's just the general preface I wanted to say. Short form content is popular because it takes away people's ability to pick what sort of content they want to watch, and that is the major difference between short form and long form content. Which is why sometimes you'll people refer to as long form YouTube videos as educational, but at the same time, short form YouTube educational videos is total usually dog shit and even looked down upon. And again, this is all because the human psyche is very sensitive and unaware when its stream of consciousness is being stored. And this very fact is being used by companies to maximize the times individuals spend on their app. And people blame this on capitalism. And I don't think capitalism is to fault. And this isn't really the logical conclusion of capitalism, and here's why. So, I'll start off by defining capitalism because some people like to define capitalism as when things are bad, when people are poor and suffering, right? And some people define it as well when big corporations and monopolies take over. I will use Adam Smith's work, some of its work, because I don't agree with a lot of it. I will use one of his fundamental ideologies, that is, the selfish thing to do is also the right thing to do in terms of an economy. Because I'm going to quickly explain this in case people do not know. Think you are a man. You say, I need bread, and currently the prices of bread is too high. Let's say the price of creating bread is $2, but the price of actually the bread is being sold at is $32. And you think, well, that's way too fucking expensive, isn't it? So there's gonna be a guy who's gonna think, it's in my best interest to get into this market and maybe sell it at $10, $30, $20. And That's how it's going to work, because now you get a profit because you were selfish and tried to undercut the market, and this guy gets a good deal at a cheaper bread. This is just basically the fundamental idea. I'm simplifying it way too much, and it's kind of disgusting how much I simplified it, but it does not matter in this context. So going back to Adam Smith, the selfish thing to do is the right thing to do. And while the selfish nature of large conglomerates, corporations, I can't say that word, has been perfected, right? At the same time, the individual levels fail to do so. The individual does not seek their best interest anymore. They're okay with mediocrity. They're okay with being failures. They do not wish to be something beyond that they are, because they're simply beaten down and chewed out by society, and people around them at large do not care, nor create, nor encourage the individual to seek out their best lives. And hence, the average person is sitting in front of a computer screen or a mobile screen trying to plead to the hedonistic gods for another dopamine hit, and is not selfish enough, and hence acting not in his or her best interest, so it does not logically follow the very definition of capitalism. This is what I wrote in the script. Now I'm going to dumb it down. The corporations are doing the very selfish thing, which is to maximize profits, which is fine. This system of the selfish thing to do is the right thing to do is with the idea that people are able to choose and are choosing their best interests, which is currently being failed at an individual level because people are retarded, because people and the society around them does not encourage people to seek out their best lives, to seek out what they could potentially become. Instead, they're basically somewhat forcing everyone to just live a hedonistic lifestyle where, oh, you should just do what makes you happy. You should live the way you want to. You should do whatever keeps you happy, even if it's drugs and booze and hooking up with people. I don't think that's the right way to live. And this is the kind of mentality the society encourages, which is very hedonistic. And in turn, this leads to the logical conclusion that people sit around for hours and hours every single day looking at a screen, trying to extract any bit more of dopamine present in their brain, which leads to the conclusion that this man is not active in his self-interest, but he is quick to blame to the corporations which are acting in his self-interest. And here's why this is actually the problem and not actually the companies. Because let's say you start blaming the companies, you're like, oh, the companies are at fault, they're creating these apps and they're getting people hooked onto it. Let's just get rid of these companies. Let's get rid of TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube shorts and whatever, and we're going to have fixed the problem. No, you're not going to have fixed the problem by doing this, because what just happens is you are just taking the form of addiction away from the addicts. You have to fix the addicts. You cannot just take away the addictions. So oftentimes what happens, this is a very popular example of when people, mostly women, when they're usually like abusing, fuck me, I just, my cream fell down anyways. When they're, let's say a woman is addicted to alcohol. I'm using women as an example because they're the most prevalent in this form of addiction cycle. Let's say they're addicted to alcohol, and you get the alcohol. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna continue this in the next video because it's about to be 15 minutes, and YouTube won't allow me to upload past 15 minutes, and it's super fucking annoying. Anyways,